He's an action figure poser, which means posing action figures is his specialty. SeanSolo8 and it's Vern from OakhurstStudios, who is a master at complaining about pretty much everything. And together, they are the Toy Duo. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's the Toy Duo. We got our host. It's Sean. You can find him over at...
I only see one of you guys. The other one's covered up by a giant...
Yeah, he's covered up by the banner there. It's youtube.com/SeanSolo8. Of course, I am at youtube.com at Vern Rants. And today we got two very special guests to talk to us about G.I. Joes. It's Conor over at Fuller's Figures, and you can get him at youtube.com/@Fuller's Figures. And then we got John. Wait, let me see your name tag. John Pentor from Super Awesome Geek Show. And you can get him at youtube.com/@Super Awesome Geek Show.
Welcome to my YouTube and subscribe. This I command.
Okay. Were you genetically modified to be the most powerful John in Florida?
And surprise, Vern, they stole some of your genetic material to create me.
Yeah.
Let me see under that hat if you got the right hat. Oh my gosh, you guys are so funny. All right, let's say hi to some people in the chat before we get started. We got Dave Sturmention, who says he was first. He was, because he was very early.
That. We'll put that, you know.
What's up?
Sonny.
Yeah. Sonny, he came in second, apparently. What is he switching account?
See, but Sonny's in Australia and Dave's not. So there's, you know, you technically could look at it like Sonny was first. You know,
it could be, right?
It just depends on
tomorrow. Clocks go back.
Yeah.
Don't forget, people. Not for me. It's always the same time here.
Yeah. Oh, it never changes. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Brian from Brian's Action Figure Reviews. We got Joseph Bet.
What's up?
Bet. Hello, Mr. B. He's here.
Okay.
I'm just see. I'm back to my 0.5 seconds on the. Yep. Sir Eric Brown has joined us. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's up?
People saying hello. Let's see.
Oh, Chris!
Hey.
Chris over there at Mod Extra, right, has a great channel.
Oh, awesome!
He's the only content creator I'm jealous of, and it's because he's so articulate. When you watch Chris's videos, he's like listening to a radio DJ, but the way he just spells it out. I love him. So engaged when I'm watching his reviews. It's a great channel.
Awesome. We're gonna have to check that out. Ricardo, hello.
Hey, what's up, homie?
Let's see. Jonathan Redmond's here.
Subscribed.
Got people saying hello. Let's see. A Punk with Toys.
What's up?
Hey,
another one of my favorite channels at the moment. So Lawrence is another toy reviewer.
Awesome.
Nice thumbnails. Mod Extra's got some good detail in the thumbnails. And
yeah. Two awesome channels. Actually, guys, thanks for popping along.
Duffman's Dioramas.
Hey, Duffman.
Yeah, we used to plug in shows, you know. Well, I wanted to do like Creator of the Week type thing when we did the 3MML. But I don't think that lasted very long. So, but I think that's a good idea to post people's, you know, channel up, show their page. And
but there's so many.
That's a great idea.
Meeting the different guys doing it. So I'm just having a ball meeting all these new people that are having so much fun with the action figures the way we all are. So.
Yeah. Crazy like us. Yeah.
I think it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what really a lot of this has been about for a lot of people, right? Like when you start doing YouTube or start getting on social media, talking about your figures and your collections, you're just meeting other collectors that you might not ever know about.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I live in this.
I think I'm going to be jealous of Punk's collection here. Punk has a USS flag full of planes.
Oh, John,
Oh, really? Wow.
You've got a whole vintage room, John. You would just
yeah.
have a field day if you got into that room.
Yeah. John was the first YouTube channel I've ever saw. In fact, you know, I was like, oh wow, this guy is really cool, and he had all this retro stuff, and yeah, that was the first time that's when I decided to jump in.
Oh, that's cool, guys.
Big inspiration.
Brian Myers,
super awesome geek show.
And then you guys inspire me in return. I mean, I just because actually everybody does. I love what people do because everyone does it differently, you know.
That's true. Everyone has their own take, I'm sure.
John, you were going to buy the condo next door and turn that into a flag room, weren't you?
Yeah, just put the flag in it. That's it. Yeah.
You're going to put like a blue carpet, so it'd be like the ocean.
There's a tiny little Cobra Island on the corner where I got the Terradrome and
so what happened with that? I've never seen pictures of it yet.
I was not able to buy the neighbor's condo.
I saw your pictures. It looks like you guys had a really good time over with Thousands Ghost running around.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Disney World.
Universal. We went to Universal.
Yeah,
Universal. Sorry.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
I didn't see any pictures of Minions though, man. Are they the Minions over there?
Yeah, there were some Minions running around. I have to put up the videos of everything because it's all discombobulated. They didn't work the way I thought it would. My videos, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to put it up because it just didn't work the way I thought it would.
Yeah.
Mikey in Houston has joined us.
What's up? What's up?
All right. So, do you guys got any new pickups for the week you want to show off?
Yeah, I got something odd this week.
Jump in.
I only got one, but just I thought the movie was cool.
Oh, you went
yeah,
for an
and the figure is
figure.
pretty epic, man. Actually, but yeah,
I thought those were just going to peg warm for like the next year.
No, these are Target exclusive, so they're actually going to be hard to get and probably shoot up in value. So.
I don't know about that one.
No, they're epic, man.
Excuse me. I mean, the audio didn't come through very well there.
The detail is pretty good. Well, I liked the movie. I had a good time.
I got an $8 figure. Jimmy Woo.
Oh yeah, he's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen him, so that Marvel Legends wave has like gone on clearance everywhere. But this guy hasn't been on shelf, so I wasn't able to get him. And then I just walked into Target yesterday, and it was a return. And so I made the guy open the box because they were like $11 or something in my Target on clearance, but it was missing the Build-A-Figure pieces. So I had to mark it down a little bit further.
Nice.
I just did your commercial for Fanta Orange Soda.
You guys got like watching Back to the Future? You know, you see all the Pepsi and Pizza Hut and all that stuff.
I just grabbed the new Luke yesterday.
Oh, I can't wait to get him, man. Everybody's got him.
Not me.
Cruiser.
Yeah,
he won't show up here for about another 6 months. So.
Oh, is he not in the States yet?
No, he's not in Florida yet. No, Florida's different than the States. Florida, we still haven't got that Bigfoot Andre the Giant yet. That's still never shown. That whole wave has still never shown up in Florida.
Oh my
yet.
gosh!
No way.
So like we're that far behind. Yeah, we're really far behind.
Because I have a couple of different Jedi Lukes, and I'm looking forward then to comparing this to the SH one, which was quite more, a good bit more expensive. So the fact that I think he was $28.99, see does it? If it's
but this is the Mandalorian one. This is different.
Yes. Yeah. So looks a little different than the other Jedi.
No. But SH Figure Arts done this one there.
Yes.
They did the Mandalorian, not the Return of Jedi one. Okay.
So looking forward to comparing the two of them when I find some time.
That'll be cool. John, you got anything?
Yeah, I was disappointed seeing that.
Well, in my latest batch of vintage figures, I got Super Trooper finally.
Oh,
with all his chrome accessories.
That's a Joe, right?
Yeah, he was a mail away GI Joe figure. Yeah,
that is
back in the day. You had to mail away for him. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. That's how I got my Star Wars, the little grappling hook thing for Luke, and then I think that bag that you carry Yoda around in. was all melted.
I don't carry my Yoda in that bag. I don't know what you're talking about. So yeah, he's cool.
Yeah.
And I finally got Tripwire. Tripwire has been. I mean, I could have bought him anytime I wanted, but I'm a deal hunter, so I'm like, I'm not going to spend $40 on Tripwire, so I've been waiting to find him. But I got
For
this
39.
whole lot. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I got a whole lot of figures.
The same color.
What?
Are all his mines the same color?
Yeah.
Because a lot of those, the one that's
cool.
the outside kind of discolors. So that's brilliant.
But yeah, I got a lot of maybe 12 or what was there's a video up I put up on the channel. I got like 12 figures, it was a little vehicle from the Night Raven, the little shuttle pod, and a bunch of missiles and extra parts that were thrown in. So it was a big job lot. Excellent. And I got it because I needed Tripwire and I wanted the Super Trooper, and there was a lot of Vipers. There was a lot of Televipers and Vipers and Stratovipers, so it was like a big pile of figures.
That's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
See, Jesse Bowling, he has jumped in.
What's up?
I don't have that Jesse? Tiny dude, but I have like those. I guess they're the lanyard ones where you push the button and they light up. You know what I'm talking about?
Were they the space guys? Were they the?
Yeah, I'm trying to see where I left them, but here he is.
Pops up.
Let's see if this is the test because every once in a while, yeah, there you go, that guy.
Yeah, those are space guys. Yeah. What were they called? They had a name.
Yeah, I can't remember what they were. Anyone?
Was it
Anyone
Star something? Yeah, Star something.
I don't remember. Okay, I'll just leave him down here for now.
Don't tell me they're just Star Troopers.
Nobody saw that, right?
No, sorry.
Oh my gosh. All right, how's everybody been doing? You guys watching anything good? Anybody watching
Scream 6? I went to see that with my kids. That was cool.
What, Scream?
Yeah.
How did it compare to the best one?
It's the best one, easily.
Of course it is. Could you have?
I didn't like the other ones. Put it that way. I couldn't.
Okay. Could you have figured it out? That's what I need to know. No. Okay. So it was not written in a way where you could go to the theater, pay really good attention, and figure it out.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
that's what I didn't like about it. You know.
Yeah, that's a flaw for me. I mean, if you're gonna do it like a mystery. Like something like that, I think you have to make it solvable. Yeah. Because that's half the fun of seeing a movie like that.
Laser Force. Those are Laser Force figures, Vern.
Let's see. Gave up my 1/18 roll 6-inch. Yeah, I'm mostly 6-inch. Those are ones I've had around.
Oh, blasphemy.
Hey, Jared.
So I'm watching.
If you like the other ones, Brian, it's good.
I'm watching Star Trek Picard, and I actually
I love it.
I'm actually really back into it. I'm glad that they've like sort of fixed themselves because that last season
you can throw away the first two seasons for all I care. This one I didn't mind the first season that much, but this second season I didn't even make it through. I had to catch up before this third one even started. But
so have they kind of course corrected on season 3?
Yes, yeah.
Because I was a big TNG fan, and
it's just like TNG.
Oh, you will like this season then?
The fourth season of Picard, and I didn't go for the second season.
Just watch this one. You don't need to watch anything else. Skip right to this one.
Okay, I mean, on that, John. I'll give it a
the very first shot. Beverly Crusher pops up out of this on the screen, and you're hooked. You're like, okay, it's TNG 30 years later, yes.
I didn't realize that now. I'm willing to give it another go, definitely.
And when Worf shows up, holy crap. That's just, oh my God.
I read an article about.
Now we know everything.
Yeah. I read an article about the Worf, the guy who plays him. He was trying to get that, how he's playing the character, right?
Yeah.
He's playing him as kind of like,
he
peaceful
wanted those
or whatever. Like he's trying to find his
those aspects back in the day. Yeah.
He was trying to get them to do a spin-off following Worf and his journey in that peaceful thing. That was like his his idea. Like I guess presented it to him, and they didn't pick up on it. Yeah. Supposedly,
it's like he's turned into a Ronin, Connor. If you know any Japanese samurai type, you know what I mean. So the way of the peaceful warrior, but yet he still kicks ass. You know.
Orville. Sonny's always gonna say Orville anytime we talk about Star Trek. Yeah.
He's kind of right.
I mean, the Orville is good Star Trek. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What I love about the Orville is I love that, like, Seth MacFarlane went to the studios and said, "I want to make a show that's like Star Trek, blah blah blah," and they were like, "No, you can't do that because it's too much like Star Trek." And then he said, "Oh no, but this is going to be humorous. This is going to have my kind of humor in it, and it's going to be a spoof, like a parody of it." And they went, "Okay, yeah, we'll greenlight that." And then once he got the show rolling, he dropped all the parody and just went with a sci-fi. I mean, it's funny at times, but
it's good. It is.
You watch it. You watch like the first couple episodes, and it's absolutely a parody of Star Trek. But then by like the 5th or 6th episode, it turns into just Star Trek with just a little bit of humor in it, you know?
All right. Jonathan's telling me, please read out my comment. So let me find him. He says, "Hey, Gerard." Hold on. I think up here, he might have said something. Hold on. Let me find his last one. No, I don't think that's what he wanted me to read out. He wants to ask you about Supermax or something like that. What is this Supermax thing?
So we have our own sort of fast food place over here that goes with the name Supermax, and it took a long time for McDonald's to sort of spread around the country, and down in the sort of the provincial towns, that's where Supermax opened up and got a foothold. And so anyone that sort of went to college down the country or had weekends away down in Waterford or Galway would always sort of, after the night out, congregate in Supermax because it would stay open till like 3 a.m. And
oh man,
we've one here in Dublin, and I kind of make a point of going to Supermax, not McDonald's, to prove a point, because McDonald's tried to take them to court over using the name Mac. And
oh really?
As far as I know, it went all the way to the European Court of Justice. They fought
about it. It wouldn't hold up. They can't. Yeah.
And they won. So it's kind of it's my little piece of anarchy every Thursday going for a Supermax after work.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. Do they have a double cheeseburger with 3 pieces of bread, lettuce, Thousand Island dressing, cheese, and sesame seeds on top of it?
No, they don't. So
they don't have a Big Mac.
2 all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Burger King tried one called the Big King or something, and I love that thing, but they went away with it. But it was so good.
Did you see that KFC is coming back with their chicken, where it's chicken between 2 pieces of chicken? There's no bread.
Oh, no way.
It's just chicken.
That's insane.
Oh my god.
It's a chicken sandwich made of chicken. Just that chicken.
Oh, I guess.
Big King. Yeah, there you go. I love that thing.
It's still in Germany.
Germans are doing it right. Keep the Big King.
So Supermax totally ripped off the McDonald's menu. They just added the word super to everything. So super double cheeseburger?
Yep.
And they won.
So Jonathan knew the answer, but he just wanted to rub it in.
Apparently
Super quarter pounder with cheese.
All right.
Well, what about this week's Mando, guys? What do you think of that?
Okay,
let's. I liked it. Yeah, that was good.
Insanity, huh? How many times have you seen it? Second time
twice.
Is like way better.
I watched them twice.
Yeah, I watched it twice. Cool. I watched it twice.
Bad Batch?
I did. Hey, I watched
this week's Bad Batch.
The latest episode of the Bad Batch.
Wasn't it good? You had to.
Yeah, it was actually really good. I was actually impressed by it.
This season is fantastic, man. You don't even have to watch the other season.
Doesn't make me want to watch any of the other episodes, but I felt like.
But yeah.
I think I'm only 3 or 4 episodes into the Bad Batch. I have a lot of catching up to do there.
Ooh, it gets good.
You got 2 things that can happen on Mando, right? Like Bo-Katan has now seen the
Mythosaur.
The Mythosaur. So she's now buying into that whole mythology that she didn't. And she's either going to make a play for the Darksaber and to try to like tame that Mythosaur herself, or she decides that she trains Mando because obviously he can't fight, right? After this episode. So she trains him how to wield the Darksaber and helps him tame the Mythosaur.
So how come she was able to wield it like that and use it so freely?
What's
the story behind that?
I think that she probably was raised in a way of like a warrior to be able to wield that weapon. She has understood the giving into the weapon type of thing, that force sensitivity or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't think that.
Okay.
Mando's still fighting it.
Yeah.
Plus, she was on the moon with the Paz Vizsla when he had the Darksaber, so
yeah,
she probably had some exposure to it.
Yeah, I'm watching those episodes right now from the Clone Wars, and where they meet up with Maul and Savage.
So yeah,
real good episode. But yeah, I'm excited about that show. What do you guys think about the monster with the eyeball and stuff? I know there's some controversy on that, but I thought it was really cool.
Oh,
big droid,
fantastic.
The big droid with the eye.
Yeah,
yeah. Who is he? Like, what is that thing?
Yeah, that's what
he's like because he's like a
General Grievous.
Yeah, General Grievous, who's like more machine than.
It might be Grievous, huh?
No,
well,
it's not Grievous.
So I was worried. I was worried when I saw the eye. I was like, "No, don't bring back Grievous, please." So I was like, they've brought enough back, but the fact that he was killed at the end of the episode, I was relieved then that that's him. That's one and done episode.
Yeah. Well, we don't know if he's killed. Really, just the
head
light
crawled off. No, didn't the head crawl off? Oh, it got squished. That's right, it got squished.
Well, the light went out. It just went.
Yeah.
It didn't get squished, I don't think. Because she chops the head off and it rolls off, and then the light goes, and then it turns off, and then they walk away, and you don't know what happened. So it may make a comeback. You never know.
Please don't be Grievous.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Half-Life, or that show. Do you remember Virus, the comic book? It was like that. They did a movie of Virus.
Yeah, wonder if R5 went up in value, the Black Series one, because I never picked them up. And you know how they usually show stuff, how things get shot up. Because they did a retro card, didn't they, for R5 40th anniversary?
Yeah, the Star Wars.
That was a GameStop exclusive too, I think.
That was the one I was unable to get, and then I just said, "Forget it. I'm not doing any of the cards." I was collecting them, and I was trying to get them all. I couldn't find the R5. It was getting ridiculous on eBay. And then I just said, you know what? If I can't complete this one, I'm not even going to bother with the Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi.
I don't bother anymore. I want Wicket. And I think, Connor, didn't you review Wicket? I know I watched somebody's Wicket video.
No, funny enough, I had them in hand yesterday, and I'm really struggling with Black Series at the moment. So I went over to the shop or store specifically to pick up the Luke figure.
Yeah,
and I had the Wicket in hand, and he's just, I know comes with a couple of accessories, but like the figure's this size, and they want $28.99 for him. So
worth every penny. Ooh.
So
can't wait to get that cute dude.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's the part I don't understand. He's 1/3 the size of a normal figure, but they have the gall to charge the same amount.
Yeah,
it should have been two Ewoks, Wicket and someone else of similar size.
Yeah.
He came with a boatload of accessories, right?
Yeah, he does.
He comes with a
and he finally has. Does he have jointed knees this time? I'm not sure.
And he's on a card, right? They gave him that really nice card.
Yeah.
But what about the legends this week, guys? Talk about a slap in the face, one of each hand. And during the show, they were like, "Oh, we're not going to show the accessories right now." And there's a reason for that, because each figure, some figures didn't even come with any hands or accessories, like Tarantula.
Oh,
they showed the carded.
That was 2 weeks ago, because we.
But they released the pre-order this week, showing how everything only came with like one Swipper and one fist, and it's like, what are they doing, man? They're totally ripping the customers off. It's getting out of hand.
They must have been in like a meeting, and they said, "Okay, here's the deal. We can start offering like one hand, or one of you guys has to go."
Damn, I wouldn't doubt it.
But they're putting them on the retro card.
Yes.
The retro line.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting plastic packaging shoved down our necks, which plastic-free packaging, and then they're bringing out this brand new wave of Spider-Man figures, but putting it on the retro style pack, even though they're all from games, Game-Verse, is it? They're not our animation. They're not from.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys disappointed in that Star Wars retro packaging, or do you like it? The cards? Retro. I mean, like, I feel like the cards are a little boring. I know they're meant to look like something that came out before, but they're just like, they're all the same except for that one little picture on the side.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think it's really to get new people into collecting, because that may have done it for me. Because I know when I seen those in the store, I was like, oh, that's really cool. It just reminds you of your childhood.
I just think the scale is off.
Yeah.
And then when you flip the card around and it's just all text as well, that takes it away. If they had
collect them all and stuff.
Collect them all, or even the figures the wave, or even showing figures from the previous wave that you could still get. you know? It would make it a bit more interesting.
Yeah, I was told, someone told me it was illegal to put more than, say, 5 or 6 figures on the back of the packaging, and they had to have all that text. And then I said, it can't be illegal. That cannot be the answer, because if you look at a Super 7 reaction figure, like look at the new Transformers ones, there's like 38 Transformer figures on the back of that packaging.
Oh,
so they have every single figure that's come out for Super 7 Transformers on the back of that packaging.
Transformers has a waiver.
Yeah.
It was same with G.I. Joe. Look at the G.I. Joe figures. I got one right here. They've got every single figure on the back of the box.
Oh, G.I. Joe has a waiver too.
Oh, do they? Yeah.
G.I. Joe's just slapping Marvel and Star Wars upside the head, you know.
The whatever Hasbro was doing, they're just doing it wrong. I think.
Jonathan says he wants R5D4 in proper scale.
Yeah, supposedly this R2 is in proper scale. When I'm not too fussy about that kind of stuff, really.
Like
paint apps, we talked about that last week. Yeah, I heard the model kit was really good.
Yeah, that's what I got for R2 and R5. And
I may do that, I think.
Let's see. I'm trying to find.
But what I mean, Jonathan, is they can show more than the current wave, because those Transformer figures are not all still in stores, but they show all 38 figures that have ever come out on the back of the box, even though you can't get the first half of them. So that's what I was told. You can only have what's currently in stores on the back of the packaging, and that clearly is not true, because if Super 7 can do it, everyone should be able to do it.
Well, is that Super 7 just saying like there's nothing illegal about it, right? It's just a matter of like their marketing. Like, do they want to market something that people have to go to a secondhand market to get if it was like a figure that they're not producing anymore? Or do they want to reveal something that hasn't come out yet? That's what I think.
Well, they told me flat out it was illegal. They said it was illegal. They could not.
I hear a lot of people say a lot of stuff.
Right. I mean, like the guys at Hasbro, like when you go to their booth at like Star Wars Celebration, you'll go up and ask them. They will tell you it's illegal. Like, and then you have to pull out the Super 7 and go, oh, really? Like that was my plan. The next time I went to see them, I was like, I'm going to bring it with me and ask the same question and have them tell me it's illegal.
Well, I can see some lawmaker trying to make that law, though, where people don't get addicted, you know.
Well, there is something about advertising, right? Like you can't have like a action figure being advertised in like a cartoon or a commercial doing things that it couldn't do, right? Isn't that like something about advertising?
Kind of like that Luke without the proper Jedi robe he's wearing.
Yeah, I think that's why they had to have kids running around with like the striker or whatever, making it fly. They couldn't have an animation of the thing flying on its own or a cartoon. That's why they made the G.I. Joe cartoon.
Is that why he's not holding a saber in 2 hands? Because he doesn't come with butterfly joints.
Yeah, he doesn't, does he?
No.
Yeah, that's why I was so disappointed with the TBC Luke recently. He can't hold his saber, over his head. It's like, what?
That's a big bone of contention for me with Black Series at the moment. Or the lads,
I don't think they care anymore. I think they're trying to kill the line.
So this is how you get them.
Yeah, but that's not over his head like he's about to wallop Vader. Can he do it? You know, like he did in Return of the Jedi. You know, he's like bah bah.
No, like when you get the hands up, you can't even get them close together.
Yeah, pathetic. Yeah. Get out of here, Hasbro.
You're bending the hilt of the saber then as well if you try to pose it.
Yeah.
Well, indoor Luke can do that, you know? That's why I guess indoor Luke is the superior version still. Do you have indoor Luke, Conor?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe compare him in the video too.
Because I actually used an indoor body to customize a Jedi Luke.
Yeah.
Because I liked that it was a smaller frame.
See? That one, what version is that?
That's the first version.
No,
okay,
this is
he can do it.
Yeah, so I stole that from my original and I just stuck it onto the indoor one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that just looking at it from here, it looks superior over the new one, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, because you could get the hands like right next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Over the head.
And you want him to deflect, lightsaber bolts. I'm sure the new one can do that. Like he's, when the speeder bike, because in my mind, that's a pivotal scene using their language.
Like the Rancor eating a stormtrooper.
Yeah, very pivotal.
But even like this, check this out. This is the Walmart one.
He can't do it.
He can get his hands like really close together, right? Mm-hmm. And I think it's because this one is based on that original body.
Yeah.
The only thing that holds them up a little bit is this little piece here.
Yeah.
I reckon is on that body.
Now they need to make him to where they can do it like the original New Hope poster, where Leia and Han and Luke's holding the saber up like that. That would be wicked cool.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they can do that. You just have a little swivel.
You'd have to have a butterfly joint that folded the shoulder up a little bit. So a 360 butterfly in a sense.
My dog's crying for some reason. She just had shots. So let me. You okay?
So they announced they paused that little retro Marvel Legends line too. They were talking about that earlier in the chat.
Yep. And they were then they blew them out on Best Buy. Did you see their sale today? They're like
man, ridiculous.
No, I think they're cheaper than that. They're like $250 or something for Venom.
I love those figures.
I did too. I mean, they were good figures, but they're just not selling. They're just sitting on the shelves.
No. Yeah.
Well, what are they talking about? There's none at any of my stores.
So then
they have them in mind. Yeah.
This is the crazy part. So like
but not Spidey and Hulk. The big ones.
To me, those are perfect for like littler kids too, right? Because you can pull them out. They're like 5 POA. Then you can just get rid of the accessory and give it to like a really small kid, and they can play with it, and it looks really cool. But they paused that. But they've launched 2 additional like kids lines, right?
I've seen that, the Mecha Strikes.
Yeah, the Mecha Strikes, and then these stunt, whatever they called them, and I'm like, why pop up new lines? Just try to enhance that existing one that appeals to 2 groups. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But if you were a kid now, like I don't know how you guys, but if I went into a store when I was 8 years old and I saw the figure from the Marvel movies, like a Thor with the cool accessory, or you see this bulked up guy beside him with sort of, you'd want the more realistic looking one, or at least I would have. So I think that I don't know whether who are they marketing those kids ones too, because the kids are going to want the more realistic or the more film version of.
Now,
I
remember when I was a kid though, seeing GI Joe with all the points of articulation. I hated that, seeing the pins and stuff. I preferred the 5 POA over the fully articulated ones when I was a kid.
Well, I'll tell you, Conor, when because I spend 2 hours at Walmart, 2 hours at Target, then I go to another Target and spend 2 hours, then I go to another Walmart for my job. Okay,
sure.
So I'm sitting in the toy aisle, watching people come in and leave and come in and leave for a couple hours at a time, and I constantly see kids that are 10 or 12 years old going, those figures are for babies.
Oh,
And these
snap.
figures that they show the 6-inch and they go, these are for our parents, like dad. These are dad's toys.
Oh, snap.
So they point to the 6-inch and say they're for dad.
Yeah.
And the little micro ones that are like 2 inches are for babies. So they look at it and go, there's no figures for me. There's no Star Wars. Yeah. If there's a TVC figure at the store, which is pretty rare, they'll pick up that because they see that as a size that's for them.
Which those aren't really kid friendly at all.
When they can't get Star Wars, they go to Fortnite or they get a Spin Master Batman figure.
Now those Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse figures, you've seen those, right? I don't know if they're like 5 POA, but their elbows move too.
Yeah.
They'll buy those for Marvel. They'll buy those for Marvel, like those. Yeah, they recognize those as for their age. But they look at the Marvel Legends, the GI Joe Classified, the Star Wars Black Series, and they say those are for
Marvel?
Dad. Yeah, they'll buy the 12-inch. Yeah, they'll buy the 12-inch. They're like what? Like sometimes they have bendable elbows, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the McFarlane ones do. Well,
look, if I was a kid, I'm sorry. If I'm with Eric here, if I was a kid, I'd be getting Fortnite figures for
they go for
whole
Fortnite.
Reason that I'm probably playing Fortnite.
Yeah.
And when I go there, I'm going to be getting figures from the game that I'm playing. You know,
mine don't sell in this town.
I've seen them, but I've seen the kids complain that there's no Star Wars for them, and as a consultation, they go buy a Fortnite or a Batman Spin Master figure.
Okay.
Yeah, but I am a sucker, though. See, I just love the cat. I just got a thing for him.
I think I bought that figure. Is that the one that comes with the 2 swords?
Yeah. So here's
that one.
Some of them.
Aren't they? He was on sale on Amazon, I think, for €12.
Yeah, I bought a couple of those because they were real cheap.
Oh, and the 4-inch line is phenomenal too. Yeah,
that's the ones I bought. They were 4-inch, like that guy with two swords.
So he's saying his lad, he's 8, he plays Fortnite and collects the figures. I mean, that's really
how many figures does he have? You know, I wonder.
Yeah, let us know. I mean, he's making a connection. He's making that connection.
Oh, is that the toy one? The toy soldier one? I looked at those and thought about them. My dog keeps crying, guys. I may need to check her out a little bit.
That looks really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like do you know the little plastic toy?
Yes, yeah.
Really
cool.
So he looks like one of those. I just fell in love with it. I didn't know he was.
I agree. That's amazing.
That's a Fortnite.
I love that.
Yeah, I only found out when I bought it was Fortnite. I had no idea.
So cool. I've seen them in GameStop, but for the tag, I think it came in a 2-pack or something, didn't it? Or no?
Yeah, he comes with a giant sausage on the fork.
No.
But funny. This is Fortnite. This one's Fortnite, and then this one is Jazzwares.
Yeah. All right.
So they're jumping licenses at this stage with the companies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they came out with those.
Oh man, my dog! I better check this out, guys. I'll be back.
All right, those Demon Slayer figures. A couple of weeks ago, we showed off a couple of weeks ago, and I know my granddaughters would be in for those because they love that Demon Slayer, right? And one of them, she's very picky, where she'll say, "Oh yeah, I like that Stormtrooper," or "I'll like that, robot or something like that from Star Wars, that droid." So she'll want that. But I think that she's going to be the one that says, "Yeah, get me some Demon Slayer figures," because that's what she's into, right? Yeah. The empty chair. I'm just kidding. Let's see. He's got a handful, maybe 3 and 3 and 3. 3 and 3/4. Definitely not as many. Man, I am so tongue tied. Nah, we're good with the pups. Christmas and I have so my brother, my oldest brother, he's in TV animation, and he did that Spectacular Spider-Man, and I remember what their intent was after they did the season. They wanted to do each three or 4 episodes as kind of like one story arc, and their whole plan was to turn each of those 4 episodes into like a DVD movie. And from what he was telling me is like the idea would be that DVD movie would end up in the grocery store, right? Like, at the checkout stands, where you find all that stuff. And it would be a way for like parents when they are grocery shopping and they had like a little kid to just buy like a movie really quick that they can put on for their kid later. And that was going to be like another sort of like modeling to sort of get people to buy these DVDs and also get the project out there. But they couldn't do it as a movie because Sony still had the movie rights. But they released them in like 4-episode arcs, but you had to play each episode separately. But that's the kind of thing with like these toys, right? You got these like fully articulated ones that would go for collectors of different ages. Then you got these other ones that are like these small, the stunt ones, or these new ones that are coming out where parents think that that's what their kids want to play with. That's what I think. I mean, when I see them, I'm kind of like, I don't want them.
But you think collectors, and I know so gamers, they go for the statues. They want the statues. So you think as collectors, we'd want the same. We'd want these realistic statues of Captain America or Iron Man, and they're all fabulously painted. But we're going for the articulated stuff, and articulation is for playing with. So, like, to me, that's where the kids would have more interest in the toys, because based on me as a kid. Because I remember, like Sean was saying, I remember when the Action Force came. So Action Force was 5 POA when it was out first. And then one day I went in and it was on the same card back. I had the blue and red card back, and it was Major Blood. And he had loads of articulation, even though he was the same. He was in the same wave as all the other 5 POAs. And he was like, that was the introduction of Palatoy bringing over the G.I. Joe molds and using them for their Action Force line and pumping it out. And I remember coming home with this figure, and I was just blown away that I could pose him, well, bar one of his arms. He still had the one straight out.
Yeah.
But I could pose him, and, you could set him up in different scenes. So that was sort of my introduction to multi-articulated figures. And I was just and from that to this day, I'm in love with it. So that's why I always think the kids of today would they not prefer the more articulated figures that we get in the 1/12 scale line?
It's an interesting thing, because when I was a kid, I had the 12-inch GI Joes, which are mostly fully articulated. But then, like in the 90s, they came out with the ones like this Duke, and like his arm doesn't bend, so he's basically almost like a 5 POA where the knee bends a little bit, and then you know what I mean. Like, but there's no articulation here in the elbow anymore. And
is there none, or is it just it doesn't work? Because I have one of those 90s ones where there is a joint inside there, but it just doesn't work. So it does, because the skin. There's like a skin or plastic over the joint.
Yeah, no. So these ones were just rubber. There's no joint in there.
Yeah.
But the knee joint is what you're talking about, where it's like rubber over a joint, and you can hear it.
Yeah.
Right. So, but it doesn't have full articulation. It only bends about that much.
Yeah, that too. The knees don't bend that far. Yeah.
But this one, the arms never did, and
they're not as posable as the old ones from the 60s.
Yeah, so this is about the time that I was kind of like, oh, well, if they're not going to be articulating anymore, I don't want them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is probably one of the last that I bought like when they were doing this, and only because this guy used to talk. Right? He has like that speaker inside. But I did get, like the Flint here, you can see he doesn't bend either. It's just molded. Right on that one.
Even in the hands, there's no hinge on the wrist.
No hinge on the wrist either.
Which was a big one for Action Man back in the day, that you had that wrist action. That you
grip.
Yeah, and you could hold them, kind of holding the weapon up in a sniper position there.
Yeah, because when they had these adventure teams, right, they all had the and then they have the upper elbow, they have the wrist joint, the knees fully bend. And
then they took that exact outfit and put it on a Han Solo doll as a prototype for the Han Solo Hoth. Yeah.
All right. So I know that like we were going to talk about like history or whatever. I made a little video. I'm going to play it right now. Just you guys can laugh at my voiceover or whatever. But
Of course not.
I think we'll be on the side. If you guys can't hear it, let me know, because I don't know if the audio will play through. But I'm going to try to do that. This is kind of like my little short history of G.I. Joe,
It's all
Action
wrong.
Man, Action Force. Okay, ready?
1964, Hasbro released the G.I. Joe Action Soldier, which took the U.S. by storm. But the question then becomes, how do you get this action soldier to the rest of the world? Palitoy licensed the figure and created Action Man to sell in the UK and the rest of the world. And they created this international hero that was based on the same figure. After the popularity of the 12-inch figures went away, in the US they created the G.I. Joe in a 3.34-inch scale figure. And Palitoy launched a 3.34-inch figure and called it Action Force. There were even comics to celebrate the real American hero and the international heroes. Check out the covers. But later, in 1989, the Action Force is renamed G.I. Joe, the Action Force. But later, in 1991, everything is just branded G.I. Joe. And that's it. Action Force, where did it go? Well, in 2019, it was rebirthed on a Kickstarter by Valaverse. And now we have a whole new line of action figures to look forward to. And there you have it, everybody. On with the show!
Well done.
That's my little short presentation about the history of it.
Very
right?
good.
Because somebody asked last week, like, what was Action Force doing at Joe Fest? And I think it's like kind of important to realize that like they weren't selling G.I. Joe, a real American hero, in other parts of the world, right? So Connor, when you were growing up, it was Action Force.
So G.I. Joe meant nothing to me as a child. It didn't exist. It wasn't on my radar. It wasn't even a thing. When we were small, there was, of course, Action Man, which was the UK version of the 12-inch G.I. Joe figure. Now, understandably, it wasn't that popular for Irish kids to be going around playing with British soldiers at the time because of everything that was going on. However, popping over to Liverpool, my grandmother used to go a couple of times a year. I was starting to get a nice collection of Action Men, and I again loved the fact that they were so articulated. So a big one I loved was the SAS one, because you had the hood with the goggles, the gas mask, and that was, you could see it on the news when the SAS raided the Iranian embassy in the UK. They were wearing that outfit. And I actually had a 12-inch toy of that. So needless to say, I was in love with this guy, and you saw the action on the news and TV, and you were able to sort of recreate it with your figure. And they were awesome. And again, it was all about, you go out to the garden, you'd set your figure up, kind of, coming through the grass or coming through the hedgerows with his rifle and set up a little scene that you were playing with, and there were loads of fun. But the sales of that kind of died down. And then Palitoy then, based on the success of the Star Wars, because they had the Star Wars license from Hasbro for UK distribution, decided, let's use our Action Man line, scale it down to the same size as the Star Wars figures, and pump them out at this discounted price. And that's what they start doing. And I remember going into shops, and I remember them being fairly reasonable. I think they were like 49 cents or 79
Yeah, they weren't even $1. Yeah.
So it was a case where if you were shopping, and we all hated getting dragged into the city with your mother for shopping, that she'd buy you, if you shut up, I'll buy you a toy. And you knew you were getting an action figure. So I went in, and again, I've mentioned it before, but as a kid, I'd spend hours lining up all my little German soldiers, all my little Allied soldiers, and creating a little battle scene with these little 2-inch plastic molded figures. And to get a 3 or 3 3/4-inch version that comes with a weapon or a backpack, and you could move his arms, again, they were only 5 POA. I was just blown away and literally went from Star Wars to Action Force overnight. You know, the films
and they
stage.
Palatoy did an interesting thing where they looked at the sales of the 12-inch figures, and they picked the 12 most popular high-selling figures to scale down into that 3.75-inch thing. So, and then it just blew from there, because once those were selling out all over the place and kids were buying them in mass, they expanded the line, you know, and made up their own villains and stuff, right? Like Baron Ironblood and stuff like that. And then they made up different groups. Like they had the SAS, like you're saying, they had the Z Force, right? And the Space Force. So they made up their own like units for each different section they had, you know, like.
And that one, and so Palatoy were brilliant at the time. They had a great department for Imagine. So that figure you had there, John, I could be wrong. I think he's Black Major.
Oh yeah, this is Black Major. You're right. Yeah, not Baron. Baron Ironblood is the one with the red, or with the iron. He's got the iron mask thing on, right? Yeah.
He was the baddie with the Ned Kelly helmet.
Yeah, the helmet thing. Yeah.
This guy here came with an AK-47 style rifle, and he came with a little code book, a little cardboard book that you could fold out, and it had, say, letters and symbols. So you could write secret codes.
Yeah.
And you'd write a message to your friend, and you'd send him home, and he'd have to decode it then with his Black Major decode book. And
Black Major. You're right. I got the name wrong. You're right. Black Major.
But again, and this is the brilliance of Palatoy at the time. By adding just a little piece of cardboard and this code book, it made the playability of a simple action figure that much more, that kids could be involved and, you know, write the code that the Action Force have to rob off them and get back to the base decode to find out where the big seat. Of course, you'd use your Star Wars logic, get back to where the big laser cannon is going to be. It's going to destroy the country. So there was
that was the other brilliant things to do them in 5 POA, and they were the same scale as Star Wars. So it's like you really could mix in a lot of your Star Wars guys with this, where in the United States, where we had G.I. Joe, there was a definite distinction because of the more articulation that G.I. Joe had. And not every Star Wars figure would fit in a G.I. Joe vehicle. So you couldn't, where your Action Force vehicles could fit Star Wars figures most of the time.
Oh, yeah. You know? And of course, we all had, we probably wouldn't have had a lot of vehicles as kids, you know, growing up, wouldn't be a lot of money, but some of us, I'd like to have an X-Wing or a snow speeder, and certainly all the mini rigs. And we all had mini rigs, and all your Action Force figures would fit into the mini rig. So it meant that playtime was mixed. Yeah, you didn't play with your Star Wars figures. You didn't play Drax Force. You got your toys, and your world built, your imagination or your playtime based on what you had. So everything was mixed together.
And the cool thing about it too was, you were meant to like write the secret code to your friend, but how often did you write the secret code and then get a good guy to get it? And you would sit there and decipher the code yourself, acting like you're the good guy deciphering the code, right? You know, like you'd basically write codes to yourself.
Definitely, yeah, 100%.
And you actually went through deciphering it because you forgot what the message.
No, you just had to do it because the good guy had to do it. You know what I mean? Like
it was part of the game. You had to find
part of the play.
The enemy base was.
I'm just messing with you. Rick from Left Coast Graphics has joined us. Vader's Girl Cat is here.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Rick.
Silly Gamers just wanted to say hello to a couple more people who showed up. Jesse's talking about Desert Rat figures really popular, and this is a very interesting thing because the Desert Rat was an Action Force, right? John Conor, was he an action man also?
Yeah, I don't think he was called Desert Rat as an action man. I'm open to correction on that. So I think all the action man just were generic with whatever accessory pack he came with. So it would be like a Desert Soldier or a
that makes soldier. Sense. So this one has transitioned to Valaverse.
Yeah. But so again, John alluded to it there, said it there, that they were picking their best lines of the most popular action men and downsizing them. So, and of course, oh my God, I can't. There was a film out at the time, a film out years ago about the Allies in the North Africa, and they were wearing that kind of outfit. So naturally, when you saw a figure in that military style outfit, you'd be like, oh, and grab it. Now, I can't remember whether Desert Rat was available over here or not, or the UK. So like I said, I used to be over in Liverpool a couple of times a year and with my grandmother, and I was spoiled rotten. I was the eldest grandchild. So I would have got stuff. Now, so I had a Desert Rat figure as a kid. I did have one. I can't remember where he came from. And like that again, it was, you'd have your mixture. You'd have your jungle trooper, your SAS trooper, your desert trooper, and
a scuba trooper. There was a scuba,
yeah.
And then there was that space trooper kind of, the yellow and blue, weren't they space troopers?
So I never really went for the space guys.
Yeah.
Even now I'm the same. I sort of go to the more army guys, and I think it all comes back to playing with those little plastic toy soldiers. That's where it all began for me. That recreating Kelly's heroes at the Guns and Navarone on my living room floor.
So the G.I. Joe Real American Hero, right? Like, I know that line. So I want to know about this Action Force, right? Like, that was more of an international group of heroes. So what was the storyline behind the Action Force?
So there wasn't really a storyline till later on. So as they brought out the products, it evolved, and that's where they split it out into Space Force or Q Force further on in the line, where they were bringing out more product. And I think there was 5 different factions.
Yeah, there was Z Force, the SAS,
and then you had the Red
Q
Shadow
Force.
Enemy.
Yeah.
And of course the enemy soldiers had an amazing sculpt that was very reminiscent of other real life baddies that your child brain would just explode when playing with them.
Well, they really hit on the red and black too, because they made those skull troopers and all those with the red and black colors. Remember, he was a red suit with a black helmet, and
weren't those like late 80s when they came out with those the skull
troopers?
Yeah, things like that. Was that late 80s?
I think it was. Yeah, I don't know, but
I'm going to say mid 80s.
It might have been 86, 87. Yeah.
It might have been a bit earlier, because
you think so? Okay.
Because like I said, I remember going. You get these guys telling stories, and they can recall this or recall that. I can't recall anything as a kid, but I remember distinctly going into the shop one day outside the shopping centre. The toy shop was across the street, and going over and picking up Major Blood and going, hang on, this is different. He looks different. And bringing him home. And it was only years later that I learned that Hasbro had bought out Palitoy, and then as a result of that, Palitoy had got access to all their molds. And that's where we start getting the Action Force vehicles coming out first, that were recolored versions of G.I. Joe. And it built from that then they start using the molds for the figures. So we got all our initial wave of G.I. Joe figures were Action Force figures in Action Force packaging, the same as the 5 POA. So there was like this mixed period of the 5 POA and the fully articulated versions then as well. And then eventually it came with the G.I. Joe style card back. So it was Action Force, but it was black with the explosion behind it.
This is the SAS 12-inch. I don't have his helmet or his goggles on, but I think that's late 80s maybe, or 90s.
Your early videos were all 12-inch figures, weren't they, Vern?
It was a combination, because when I was little, Amigo had all the superheroes and then the knights. So I had all those. Those were like a 7-inch, 8-inch figure, but they were fully posable. But yeah, I had a lot of these 12-inch Joes. So I had the military ones, and then later they kind of blended in and became the adventure team.
Adventure team, yeah.
So I had like So this is an adventure team, right? This guy's an adventure team. What they were doing was getting away from like the military type.
Because every once in a while, there's a period where they feel like people won't buy military figures. Like we actually just went through that with when they had the Gulf War and all that stuff, and people weren't. So they were actually thinking of there was a spot where they were going to put GI Joe totally in space and make them like the GI Space Force or something like that, or Space Force Joe or something like that. And those figures never actually came out. I remember seeing pictures of them, but they never came out.
Yeah, this is my oldest one that I still have.
And he was the star of that video.
Yeah, he's Ace the pilot.
Yeah,
he's got his little sidearm, and then I have a yellow helicopter, the one that has like the little cable that drops down.
Is he 64?
Yeah, this is 60s. I think it might be a little bit after 64, maybe a couple of years later. It's before the Kung Fu grip.
Yeah,
that's for sure. But the hands are cool because they're pegs, so you can actually pull them out and not have a hand or stick something in there like a hook if you wanted to like pretend like you got his hand cut off or something.
And that's where the head swapping came from. It started with hand swapping on there.
You can take these heads off also. Yeah. You know what's funny is we had a whole bunch of them with the flocked hair, and I remember my brother, my middle brother, used to like take a razor blade and he would shave them, so we could have some figures that didn't have like full beards and mustache. Some of them had mustaches. Some of them had like no beard, no mustache. Some of them had like the little handlebar deal or whatever. It was like nuts how they would shave them down, but that's what happens when you get the flocked hair.
Yeah, it was Red Shadows. Those were the guys. Red Shadows.
Yeah.
Flocked hair.
Well, they're gonna make that in the future for us, Vern or Rick. They'll have that in the future. It's coming soon, just like meat grown in a lab. Yeah.
Rick's like me, like my flocked hair. Let's see. Okay, so I made this. This is so we got some reveals. We're gonna go through them. These are going to be both Action Force and GI Joe, the stuff that they showed this week, and then Action Force had that Valafair last weekend. So I know some of these I showed last Saturday, but we'll just quickly go through them, just say what we think about them. Whether they're hot or not. The thing about Action Force is do you guys know the story that Valaverse created for the Action Force?
No, I mean like the what their mission is, what they're doing, you know?
Yes, no, supposedly Conor will correct me if I'm wrong. Supposedly like the US has gone into like some major civil war type thing, and the states have like factioned off, and Texas is one of the most powerful, and so that you have this, and the Action Force is fighting to restore the U.S. or the freedoms or something like that. Is that what I get from it?
Yeah, and again, I haven't read the comics. I only loosely know the lore from some of the file backs, the card backs that I've read. So, yeah, pretty much that's my understanding of it too, Vern.
Yeah, okay. So I haven't read the comics at all either, but that's kind of like the story behind the new Action Force. So the first few slides are going to be the Action Force figures that they revealed. Of course, there was that fan stream that we had on March 11th. And
8th.
I guess we'll talk about that when we get there because I think it's pretty interesting. So these are just Desert and Riot Troopers. These are additional ones. And we know that this latest wave was more female wave, right? So these are additional.
Well, they do these blank ones. They're basically essentially blank figures because you can buy the accessory packs and put like chest armor, helmets, even sometimes different hands and gloves, and sometimes you can get padding for the legs to bulk them up a little bit.
Yeah,
and
to gear them up. Let's say
there you go, like Fuller's got there. So so there'd be like a generic figure underneath all that, and you could gear it out however you want.
Yes,
you know,
and I have to. So these cause a bit of controversy in the hobby because some people are really against the fact that you're paying more buying the figure and the accessory pack. I think it's only a couple of dollars, but these are actually some of the best fun figures you can have because you can you can mix and match, you can swap them out. You do get that bit of extra accessories with them. So I have.
But you don't. The thing is, when you buy the accessory pack, you get more accessories than you can fit on one figure. You're basically.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like
it's enough to build like 1.5. Sometimes, if you're really clever, you might be able to get 2 figures out of one accessory pack.
I find these guys a lot of fun to mess about with. So even though they're not a mainline character from the franchise, they're a lot of fun. So I'm not sure if I go for the female versions of the new reveals, because I have those ones. But
right. So going with what John says, right? Like here's Blowback, and he came with the helmet with the night vision goggles, but he also came with these headphones with the mic. So easily I could just throw those headphones with a mic on a different figure, right? Yeah. That's what you're talking about, John. There's so many accessories that he can't wear everything. So if I were to get a blank figure like that one, I could always gear him up with stuff, you know. And if
you buy an accessory pack that's just weapons and helmets and backpacks, it's like there's more than you could fit on one guy. Usually it's like 1.5, or if you're clever, you might get 2 figures out of one accessory pack.
I agree with you
equipment for that. You know what I mean?
Let's see. Hold on. I'm going to go to the comments because Sonny's really has issues with presenting a near future military toy line. The heroes mostly look like 90s till early 2000s, while Swarm and Crimson look like they are beyond 2028. Yeah, I mean, if it goes along with what their storyline is, right? Like you probably have some places that have like tech people. Like I would say, like if you have like, you know, factions in the US and you got like the high tech central of California where you got all the tech companies, they're probably going to be developing more high tech weapons than other parts of the country, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why you got like high tech versus lower tech or whatever. He means me.
I don't have any Valaverse.
Well, that's the thing, Mod. Like,
some people do.
You guys punk Mod. Like I only own one Valaverse figure, and that's Sergeant Slaughter, and that was the reason. Is because the price is so much. But what I want is, I actually do want more and more people to buy these, because if he can get to a thing where he's pumping out like 100,000 of each figure, he might get to a point where he can lower the price per figure. Because when you manufacture something like this, you know what I mean? It might cost you $20 per figure if you're doing 10,000. And if you can get to 50,000, it might come down to like $15 a figure. And if you can get to 100,000, it'll come down to like $10 a figure. So then you can start charging $20 instead of $30.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
So these blanks are what, like $20, $22. And they come with a stand, 3 extra sets of hands, a weapon, and an extra head.
Yeah, looks awesome. Right? I'd love to get in the line, but I just know with my problems and addictions, I would just go too deep.
Well, you know what I'm saying, right? Like, because you got like if we sectioned off the country right now, you have smart people all over, right? But you have embedded like tech companies like Apple and stuff like that developing microchip type stuff. Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe they're all teleworking now, so who knows where they're all at? I don't know. It's fictional.
A lot of the people in Florida are not that smart. I'm sorry.
But can you imagine the stuff that they have at Disney World that they could use? For costuming. All right, so here's the gear packs that are coming out. So they got the 3 extra gear packs.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
They look good.
So, granted, okay, there's a lot of reuse across these, and that's fine. But the thing is, you don't have to go and buy all 3. You can buy. So if you want to buy a blank figure, you get to pick the accessory pack to suit the look of the figure you want to get, or you can get 3 blank figures and kit them out fully. So it's that element of choice in it that I like.
I gotcha. Yeah, he's saying give us an option to buy a fully geared one. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Okay, I get what, instead of buying just a blank with nothing, also package it with some gear.
Yeah, and like there are merits to that argument. There's no getting away from it. That if you want to buy the blank figure and the accessory pack, it is going to cost a couple of dollars more.
Yeah,
and I suppose they did give the extra head with the blank figure, and in the more recent releases, they're adding in a weapon with the blank where that didn't come with before. So I think they're trying to sort of meet the collectors halfway on that front to bring a little bit more value into the line.
Well, the only one that I bought, I don't know about shipping from Valaverse.com because I didn't buy it from there, but I bought mine from Big Bad Toy Store, and it cost me $4 shipping in my pile of loot with like 20 other figures. I bought that for that monthly period or whatever.
I don't want to talk about shipping.
In the US, John, it's like $8 flat rate. So if you add 6 figures, it's $8. If you do 1 figure, it's $8.
Oh, okay.
From Valaverse. So Gemini, that was a new release. This was supposed to be that MMA fighter, that Danielle Kelly, but they get the deal.
The rights got messed up or something, right?
Yeah. So he reimagined the figure really quickly and came up with a new backstory or something like that.
I'll have to wait and see. So I've done a lot of my pre-orders for Wave 3 through a UK retailer.
Yeah.
And that company has supposedly been sold and under new management, and has gone into radio silence the last 6 weeks. So myself and a lot of collectors now are left wondering what's going to happen. Are we going to get Wave 3? And those of us that have, so you can pay a bit, a half, or full for your pre-order. So I paid half for all my pre-orders. I potentially going to lose that money now. And while not a lot, because it's only a couple of figures, I'm going to probably miss out on getting those figures now because some of them are sold out on Valaverse.com.
Yeah.
So
the cool thing about Valaverse is that they started setting up on Amazon, so you can actually get some figures from Amazon at the regular price point. The only problem is it's not the newest wave. Like you still have to get the previous wave. Like, so they got to get to a point where like the newest wave is available as soon as it's available, right, to Amazon or something. Then you can save the shipping, I guess. Accessory packs are even better. You can take those accessories and use them across your 6-inch toy lines. That's true. I mean, like you can get
lots of scope to mix and match.
Okay, so this is everything that comes with Gemini. I think it's pretty loaded down. I highlighted this gear because of the carabiner. I thought was like super cool. That is like a blue carabiner. I think the detailing on it is really good. The only thing I didn't like about this Wave 4, honestly, was the sidearm. It just seems gigantic for them. You know what I mean? Like, so here's
end of a different era. That looks more futuristic.
Yeah, like Ray's blaster.
So here's Eclipse, and you could see that sidearm. It takes up the whole thing. You could see how big it is, right? Like, it seems big to me because, and they make a smaller weapon because if you look at the one that I use for my, right?
But I think that, so this is, and Sonny be able to step in here. That's modeled on a real weapon, a real sidearm that's used. So
yeah.
I think, because I'd be the same. I'm not mad at the look of that. I prefer the sort of more Glock looking pistol that comes with the figures.
I just think like, what would the person carry, right? Like, regularly. I don't know if it would be that bigger weapon. That's probably a little bit harder to like utilize in a pinch because you got your rifle, but when you're using your sidearm, you want to be able to like tactically use it. And if it's gigantic, too big for your hand, it may be a little bit too much.
Yeah, maybe particularly with the female figures, he could have maybe gone with, because even the one that comes with blowback, that size side pistol is much smaller. and would fit neater into the hands.
Okay, so Rick's talking about Valaverse supposedly signed some sort of a deal, and he's thinking it's Mego, Eagle Force, or UFC. And because he said UFC, I was thinking that it's that one fighting championship because they actually sponsor somebody that's in there. And because UFC has Jazzerwise, right?
I thought it was a version of some kind of MMA. Yeah. So
yeah, that's that one CF is a MMA, but it's out of like Thailand or something. And that UFC already has like a toy line. The Jazzerwise or whatever that company
Jazzwares,
is. Yeah, Jazzwares. So that's why I didn't think it was them, but it could be. You never know. Okay. So we got the upgrade pack. It's kind of interesting that they just came out with the wave, but they're doing the upgrade packs. I kind of wish the upgrade packs would have came out with the wave, right? But
yeah, but and again, this is in response to people have been not calling for, but people, it's come up multiple times over the past year that it'd be great if we could get different face sculpts for the characters and different heads. Because again, you have your blank figure, but you could utilize that if you had Eclipse and you had the scarf head on, you could use a different head on one of the other figures. So there was a call for some extra heads, and I think this was his answer to that from the collectors in the community. So there was a demand there, and it was being sort of vocalized around that people wanted the option of extra heads.
Okay, I do like the vest. This is the vest that like the one that Pandora is wearing or whatever. So I do like the way that they give you an optional vest for the character. So I did like that. Then they did the upgrades packs. I'm just going to go through the next two upgrade packs because it's Kill Switch, same type of thing.
Her hair doesn't look like it's on her head.
Yeah, it's just weird how they wouldn't do it like a deluxe version, but whatever.
I think this is their way of trying to do that. And then you got the upgrade pack for Pandora. And then, of course, they gave her a different vest, right? The one that the other ones are wearing. So they just reversed the vest on there. But I do like these weapons where they have the two colors and stuff like that. I think they look pretty good.
Yeah. But that's why Hasbro started doing that.
Yeah, Jonathan saying that the artwork on the box isn't that good. I agree with him. It's pretty open, so you can see the figure, but on the back it's basically just a file card with pictures of other figures and then a picture of the character like on the side. So yeah, they could probably do something.
As far as I know, the artwork is plucked from the comics, so there is that link back to that sort of world building that Valaverse is trying to do.
Right.
I'm having an issue with the way the hair isn't really on the head. It looks like it's just stuck on top.
Yeah, I think it's
out.
It's the same with like the Kill Switch a little bit.
Look at that, yeah.
Yeah, and this one, I think it has more to do with because there's so much of the head revealed. I don't know, like, or you know what I mean? Like they had to resculpt that. I don't know. You're right. It does seem a little strange. Okay, let's see. Here's some weapons packs. Not going to go through every weapon. I'm sure, like,
yes.
That would be too hard. But this one down here on the bottom right is the one that I'll be leaning probably towards because of the bigger pieces in there. Look really cool. Then they had the Joe Fest exclusive. I'm hoping that somebody who's going to Joe Fest would be willing to try to scout one out for me. I think it looks really cool. I like the upgrade that they did. This is just the upgraded head, but it's just painted differently, right? And then they gave her the tattoos on the arm because they gave her the Pandora body or the Gemini with the sleeveless arms. I think it looks pretty good. And there's everything that it comes with.
Oh, the wrapped one looks cool.
Disappointed that it's an exclusive, that it put so many collectors out that have getting their hands on it. I suppose because I've missed Eclipse now because of the UK retailer situation, my chance to pick up this one is gone. So that's a fair point, Lawrence, that it's an extra $14 on top of what you've already paid.
Yes. Yeah.
If and again, it's easy to say, look, this is a choice, you don't have to get it. But if you're a collector, you're into the line, you're into messing with the figures, you're going to want the stuff. So your hand is kind of forced on some of it that you're going to end up sort of forking out for all these extra sets.
Yeah.
I will tell you.
I just don't know.
Oh,
People aren't allowed to criticize this company at all. It seems like, you get crucified if you
No, I think
talk bad about it.
Almost, right? It sometimes feels that way. Like, but I will tell you, like, the face paints don't look that fantastic, to be completely honest, right? The eyes look like I painted them.
And then I guess the first wave had a problem of like breaking, and you have to heat them up or something like that.
I think that they're claiming they worked through those issues. They're using a new upgraded body or something like that.
But obviously this is what customers want, though, because everybody talks so highly about them that this is, people are loving this, that they overlook all these other things.
They changed plastic halfway through the first run. They used a harder plastic in the beginning, and they were breaking, but they actually went and changed the entire way they're manufactured, not just, you know what I mean?
No, I got all the wave one, and I didn't have an issue with it. Again, the advice was to heat it up, but then I've been doing that with some of my G.I. Joe figures when I get them, that they need a blast of a hairdryer. So
yeah,
luckily I haven't, touch wood, haven't had an issue yet. I know you had, Vern, with one of your hands.
Yeah. So I did have the issue with the blowback and the knife. The problem is I got that one from Amazon. So when I contacted Valaverse, they wouldn't not send me a new knife. They told me I had to go take care of it through Amazon.
Through the retailer. Yeah.
And so Amazon's solution is basically, we'll just send you a new figure, send that one back. So it seems like a big waste to do that, but that's what the solution was.
I like the head wrapped in the scarves, though. That's really cool.
Yeah,
I would love to check one out, but I'm just not. It's a big investment, because if I love it, I'm in big trouble.
Yeah. So I think I think it's almost like with anything, right? Because that I talk about Hasbro quite a bit, and I think that like I've kind of like ended up on their list of we don't.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You bash Hasbro to pieces, but these guys, you just like, lick their bums. I don't want to say it kind of like that.
I don't think I do that. I mean, the videos that I made, when there were problems, I pointed them out.
Yeah. But again, okay, but you can't compare Hasbro, a big conglomerate international corporation, to this is a bespoke, small. It's
and Hasbro is disgusting. Like I was saying, what they're doing with one hand each. I mean, it's so off-putting. And then what they did with the Rancor and how they handled it, it almost made me hate the company altogether.
Yeah.
But anytime there was issues, they've come out, they've addressed them, they've changed. Like, I mean, John said there, they've changed the plastic that they were using in the first wave, and
Ricardo.
But the other thing too is that, like Valaverse was doing something right, because especially with the weapons, because if you look at the first run of Classified, first off, they don't really match entirely to the old Joes we used to have, where as the Classified line moved along, like Spirit, Outback, this new bazooka that's coming out, Snow Job, they're all like nearly 100% the cartoon. Do you know what I mean? Where that first Roadblock, you can make an argument that it's Roadblock version 2, but that gun and the stuff they have really isn't from the cartoon. It was just, and Scarlet, the colors are there, but she's really not from the cartoon. She's wearing some kind of armor. So as the line went along, they changed it. And the other thing happened with the weapons. The weapons were all one color, even when they made like an AK-47 or an M4 or an M16 or something. It was just black. There was no other color on it. And then Valaverse was doing these two color things, and now we're getting brown and black, gray and black on G.I. Joe Classified.
Yeah, we're getting guns where the magazines come out.
And then the magazine could come out in Valaverse, and now the last wave of G.I. Joe Classified, the magazines can come out and be replaced. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Hasbro is paying attention to what Valaverse is doing and paying attention to the feedback they're getting and going, we have to step up our game or we're not going to be on par with this independent company that shouldn't be, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
they see them as a direct competitor. It's clear. You know what I mean?
And the big one then, to back up what you're saying, John, about the weapons, was in the recent Hasbro live stream where they announced a new version of Firefly. And if I get the name of this weapon wrong, Sonny is going to go through me. I can see my DMs hopping already. But they actually name the gun that Firefly comes with, his original SMG, I think it was called. That coming with the original, and I think that's, for me, that's the first time that they called the gun by its actual real name, a real weapon. So you can definitely see that influence feeding into what Hasbro are doing with their line.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So and we got all those Hasbro ones that just came out towards the end after we did after the Action Force, because I could see questions already coming up about the price points on Snow Job and stuff like that. So we will definitely talk about that price point that they came out with on their stream.
This guy with the skull.
And these fans bash Hasbro so bad. Even the owner. I've watched that 3POA podcast.
Is that
and the whole show is basically them crucifying Hasbro.
Like the guy who. The guy who started Valaverse, Bobby Vala,
worked there. Yeah,
he used to be a designer,
head of Marvel Legends
or whatever, or something, right? So I was telling these guys ahead of time. I watched that one video where he's where he reviewed their GI Joe Snake Eyes, and he kind of bashed like the deco on it and stuff like that. But he was also talking about how they are limiting the classified accessories because they wanted to make them comparable to the Legends and the Star Wars that are lacking accessories. But I think that John had said that was old news, right? So like, yeah, they're changing, because when we get to the price points, we'll talk about how they set clear price points and the other teams haven't really said yet what their price points are, right? I think that will be important for them to do.
Just 2 points on that, though, Vern, and I'm just saying it out here because there is a lot of us and them in these communities that are collecting this, and I personally don't buy into that. I grew up with Action Force as 5POA and Action Force as GI Joe as we know them. So to me, I've always had mixed military lines growing up as a kid and playing with them. So this feeds directly into what I grew up with, what I know.
Absolutely. Yep.
And so to me, it's not one or the other. To me, they kind of belong in the same toy box on the floor.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. They go on the same shelf in my
Absolutely.
collection. They're on the same shelf. The only thing that I wish, though, is that the reason I don't own a lot of Valaverse, like I bought the Sergeant Slaughter. I might buy this Bone Collector because he looks freaking badass.
He does,
but
man.
I don't have a lot of the standard military guys because they don't match anyone that I grew up with.
Yeah.
If I could get Baron Ironblood, if I could get this guy, you know what I mean? If I could get Black Major in this Valaverse line, I would buy him.
What about the Steel Brigades?
It's like, yeah, the Steel Brigade's in there. That was actually a GI Joe guy, but he was a mail away, I think, also. Yeah, so it's like I might be tempted to get one of those because it was something I grew up with.
It's a callback, right? Yeah.
Yeah, for me, that's what I need, and I want this guy I want Bobby or whatever he is, who's doing Action Force to actually make Action Force characters. Like I want the ones that, like I'm saying, you know.
And these just aren't figures. These are high, like, Mayfix. Have you seen Jess J. Hernandez Action Force video that he did? If
I don't know. My Sergeant Slaughter, I got them side by side, and they're almost identical.
They pose so good.
They're the same posability.
You need to check out. Yeah,
I've got them side by side doing the same poses. He's wrong.
All right, I'm going to need a video, John, of each of the two figures doing all of the standard yoga poses.
These guys,
All right, so these are going to be reissues.
Than most.
These are reissues that roll on the new bodies, right? Because they were original Some of them you have
so
original.
These ones won't heat. You don't need to heat up.
Apparently
probably
not.
No, you don't. No.
The Desert Gear pack. I think I cut some stuff out. I didn't put
this
all
is
new
cool.
faces.
This is
I think
people are
I
saying
like
you can
the
use this as snake eyes. I don't know who was saying that.
Yeah, well, kind of, because it's like a SAS. This is more like that SAS Special Forces or whatever to me, but it's supposed to be Arctic, right?
Yeah.
Probably to compete with Snow Job, but I do like the gas mask on here. I think that's why
a cool gas mask.
Yeah, that's the problem, Dandy. You know, I would get this and I would, you know, try to copy just J. Hernandez, because I have seen these things pose and they can, you know, I would love to get my hands on one. I really would, but you know.
But I what I'm saying is I mean I haven't watched the video, but from my figures that I have at home, I was able to put them both in the exact same positions. Yeah. So my instinct is to say someone who could not get the Hasbro in the same pose as a Valaverse just wasn't trying hard enough.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
They have the same exact. They have the exact same body. Look at that leg. Mm-hmm. The twist is in the exact same spot as a GI Joe. The knee joints are the same. The boots are the same.
Well, that's what I mean. For an independent company to make a figure this good with that many accessories, that's what I'm complimenting. It's just mind blowing.
Yeah. And look at this accessory. I mean, you're never getting this in a classified.
I know, it looks like a big old bud, doesn't it? You just want to roll it up and smoke it.
It's a ghillie suit. So like I put pictures of this up on my community post, and basically somebody challenged me to make one. So I'm gonna be making.
I want to see. Suit. I think you can, Vern.
I don't know if you guys know, there's a YouTube channel out there called Albatross Customs.
Yes.
Lovely guy, Macross. And he's made one of these. He has a tutorial video up. Now I'm nowhere near as skilled or capable as Macross is, but I'm going to have to give it a try before this comes out. Because it looks so awesome the way it's set up there, particularly with the sniper rifle.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because they announced this, but it's not going to be coming out until the fall, right? So you got plenty of time to make your own.
It's just a little weird that the display pictures are in a concrete area where the suit wouldn't be used. Like he should be laying down on the grass out in the lawn.
Yeah,
that's because the photographer didn't think about it.
He would lose the figure.
Yeah.
He'd be like, crap, I lost him in the lawn.
They got these new bodies they're going to be coming out with. They wanted to they announced this bigger, beefier dude. I think that's going to be
drop down legs. They're going to have probably.
They took a whole long time talking about these like boots, and especially these shoes on the one on the far right. Mm-hmm. They were talking about how those are like designed after like 4 or 5 different military style shoe that are being worn now by special forces and stuff. So I think it's kind of cool that they're like integrating newer stuff. You know, that's how they get to the detail. It's kind of a cool idea. Yeah. But I mean, I don't.
And notice how now they all have the butterfly joints in the shoulders.
Yeah. I prefer the look of the long trousers than the boots.
Yeah, that looks really cool. This figure.
Yeah. So this guy, I think this guy looks really cool. We'll see how he comes out, because this is, of course, a production model, and of course, this isn't coming out till next year. But he looks kind of like a cross between Western, almost, right? Like, without the jacket or whatever, or maybe you give him a cowboy hat, would have been kind of cool with this guy.
He looks like the guy who plays Thanos.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Maybe, a little.
He looks a bit Cable-like from Deadpool 2, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, there you go.
Let's see, Jonathan saying Gilly's.
Yeah, that guy was in Avatar. Rick's got it, He does kind of look like the Avatar guy, too, yeah.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's who it looks like. So then they showed off these promotional pictures of this vehicle. Here's the part that scares me about this vehicle. I think it's going to be way more expensive than that HasLab, which
and after them dogging it and all that, I'm really interested to see how this goes.
I mean, if it's reasonably priced, this is going to be awesome. But
what do you think, Vern? Come on, you have. I'm thinking it's going to be.
I think it's going to be $800.
No way.
Is the top going to come off? Like, it'd be cool if it had opening doors, just so that you could do it.
The doors come off.
Get the figures in and out. I'd like the top to come, the whole roof to come off.
Yeah, I think the doors come completely off, so you can have them on or off. It has that turret. They said they're gonna sell like I guess some packs, so like you could change that turret for something else, like interchangeable pieces. But you can see the interior supposedly molded right from the vehicle. They showed the dashboard, which has like the navigation screen on the dashboard. It looks kind of cool, but I have a feeling that this is going to be way out of like most people's price range.
Yeah.
So
for $800, I'd want to be able to drive it myself to collect the groceries.
Yeah, they didn't.
It a proper vehicle too, supposedly. Like there's a
it's actually based on a real vehicle. But here's the thing: they did not say a price. I'm just making that up. That's my guess.
Right? Well, after all the heat they've been giving Hasbro,
I'm probably not going to fork out for a vehicle anyway.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Yeah, I'm not. If it's that much, there's no way. And the only reason I'm saying that is because if you go on like Amazon and look for like 1/10 scale vehicles, the RC ones, they're like $500. What?
Yeah, I'm just saying if the roof comes off,
you can make your own vehicles. Because this guy here makes all his own vehicles. Check out.
I was just saying if the roof comes off, you can get the figures in and out easy.
Yes.
And then pop that roof back on. But if it's only the door opening and you have to try to cram them in there and get their hands on the controls based on trying to get them through that side door, you're never going to get them to pose right or have their hands on the right spot.
Yeah, I hear you. That's it'll be a 2-hour job just to get a cool scene.
This is actually a really good point that Rick's making, right? Because this vehicle is European. And if their whole storyline is based on what's happening in the States or whatever, how did they import this vehicle for use, right? I think that's a really good, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, Jonathan Redmond. He was saying, after all that Hell Chargers thing, I think he's trying to purposely make it the same price.
Okay, I didn't hear that. Yeah, I didn't hear that, but if that's the case, then that's way better than what I'm thinking. But
a Punk with toys probably saying they'll probably have add-on packs for this thing or something like that. Like they'll have a one tier and then you can get other tiers.
Probably, based on what they're doing with the figures.
Now I saw that somebody I saw a video the other day. I'm gonna find the link. I'll share it on like Twitter or something like that. But somebody had a vehicle that they printed, and it took them 240 hours to print the thing, but it was a 1/11 scale or 10 scale, so it fit all their figures, and it fit the same number of figures, and it was 3D printed at home. So it looked awesome too, by the way. So okay, let's see. It's not. It's Orange Cat. I thought it was European.
I've seen pictures. They were showing pictures of the original model, so it's out there.
Well, see, I thought it was a European automaker, but basically, okay. So let's move on. Let's see.
Anyway, I would love to try the line. I wish it would send me some.
Praetorian, right?
Wow, this is cool. Yeah,
it's definitely cool.
So I think it's pretty neat that they're coming out with this high-tech, I guess, villain or whatever. So that's kind of cool.
But he's kind of right. The villains do look like they're from the year 2038, and the good guys look like they're from 2010. If this is really one of the villains, I see what he's talking about.
The sci-fi stuff.
Yeah, but then again, look at Metal Gear Solid. That's what it reminds me of. Like Metal Gear Solid. He probably played the game, and because it does fit in. Because look at Snake. I mean, Snake isn't like this, really. Well, no, Snake is like this, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, it's almost like it's kind of funny that we joke about it, right? But like, even if you watch Endgame, like Winter Soldier shows up with his machine gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I don't know what that's doing, dude. Your arm's way better than that gun, but whatever.
Gotcha. Their version of the bat. Okay.
Okay, let's see. And then we get into the Joes.
Tunnel Rat.
Some of these are beautiful, man.
Yes.
You waiting for this one, John?
Well, I have to get a couple of my brother's favorite figures, Tunnel Rat.
So here you're saying they're copying Valaverse by coloring the weapons, right?
Oh, yeah. That weapon would have been solid black or solid gray 2 years ago.
So we can thank the Valaverse for this line improving.
Yeah,
The pistol is just awesome on this guy. It's like a.
But see, I have a connection to him where, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I've got the original, you know, I've got the original. He's my brother's favorite figure. That's why my brother's online name when he's playing games is Tunnel Rat, is because of this guy right here.
Yeah.
You know,
me and John's brother share the same birthday, so I have a connection to it now as
there
well.
You go, right? Yeah, there you go.
But just on Sean's point there, right? So if you compare what's happening with the Star Wars line, where Hasbro have the sole license for the Black Series, the 6-inch version, bar SH in the Asian market. This just goes to show what a bit of competition can do, that there's two companies fighting for their hard-earned cash. And this is the payoff. We get these extra accessories. We get these better quality products. We get more bang for our buck. So it just goes to show what a bit of competition can do. And it really, as collectors, for the first time in a while, we're the beneficiaries of this competition. So long may it last.
Yeah.
I know, right? I mean, it's just amazing, like how far the classified has come.
The difference is I might only buy one or two Valaverse, but I'm going to buy every single one of these classified, because the classified hits that string where I had all these as a kid, and this even has the same accessories, the two little flashlights that go in the backpack. You know what I mean? It's like it's an extra. He didn't come with those goggles in the original, but he's got them here. You know, so. It's like and he's done the same way. He's even got the tattoos on his arms, the stripes on his face, you know, when he's, you know, it's like, it's just pulling on that nostalgia for me that I'm going to buy this, you know, and
I'm the same.
And every single one of them, Snow Job, Shipwreck, Bazooka, like I'm just in for all of them on this.
Yeah, because it's saying something to you, because that's the line you collected.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the new Firefly.
Yeah, that's so cool. Oh.
He does. His body even looks better than the first version.
Yeah. It's just epic. That's just a cool figure. If I ever see that, I'm definitely picking them up.
And that first version was so damn hard to get.
Yes.
It took me forever, and I don't know. I don't even think I found him. I think I had to get him from somebody in the community. It was a pain in the butt.
Chat's supposed to be saying hot or not here. So what does everybody think of that? Hot?
Oh, hot. Yeah, hot.
Damn hot.
I completely forgot. Yeah. Oh man. I think
that's hot.
Yeah.
Even if you have the other one, right? I think I had the other one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Replacement for the other one.
But I'd be all in for this one.
Yeah. All right.
Low light. Wow, I didn't even know he was coming. Yeah.
That case is just something else, right? A different kind of accessory.
Yeah.
And
really it looks cool. Like you can pop that. Can you pop at least the stand and the sniper scope and stuff?
I think everything should fit in there.
In the case. No, I don't like the little weapon up top. I would have probably preferred a sidearm than that. But
he came with a weird thing in the original too. It was a weird little pistol submachine gun thing or something. But yeah.
Jonathan created a new category.
Lava. Okay.
Yes.
All right, and then we got. Okay, so I don't even know who this is.
Yeah, who the hell is this?
I wasn't. I guess cool. I was not even paying attention to G.I. Joe when this came out. Is this like a late figure?
I've never seen this in the vintage line. I don't know what this is. To me, this looks like Valaverse has this skull guy. We better make up a new character. Yeah, that's exactly we better make up a new character with a skull guy.
Yeah. You know, and then let's give him a glowing skull face too, so it would look more like those B characters that they have or whatever.
There you go. Yeah.
Maybe an army builder. He looks cool.
On this guy, the hair they've aged the hair, so it's going to be like a grey wash over or whitewash. So I know the big draw for these is the nostalgia factor, but that looks like a pretty cool figure. I think I'll be going for that one too.
Oh yeah, and people are going to buy multiples.
Yeah, what is he? He's probably a guy named Voodoo or something. He was probably from a later series. Yeah.
Look, this is what I see with this figure. I'm gonna like when I get him, I'm gonna take him out back where I have like my trees and the little plants and stuff, and I'm gonna do a whole thing, like a thing with him and Spirit, like countering each other in the jungle, trying to like get each other, because that's what it seems like, right?
Yeah.
Like just pit the two against each other. I think would be like cool in like pictures or something.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I think this guy's pretty hot.
Yeah,
pretty
I agree.
hot.
I agree. All right, and then
Yes.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Copperhead, wow.
Now, I was talking to Jonathan and Brian the other night, and we were just talking about these reveals, and I was saying to them, so I bought the Fortnite Snake Eyes. I pre-ordered based off what they had shown, the digital renders, and when he came out, he was all glossy and shiny, and like this guy, I loved the matte tone on the paint they've used on this. So
yeah, the lighting looks great. Yeah.
I really hope that's the way the final product comes out to us, looks like.
oh, with that matte, yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
Not to Jonathan though. An easy pass. I don't know. I think that I got to give props because I think the photographer did a good job on a few of these pictures and really makes them stand out. Also,
yeah.
So the new bazooka, okay. So when I first saw
this is the one that I wanted originally.
When they were repainting bazooka, I was kind of like, aren't the bazookas on clearance now?
Yeah. Well, that's because this is the way bazooka should be.
Right.
The one with the white shirt was the second version in the original line. So,
but look at the missiles.
They put them out backwards.
That the missiles have like paint on the tips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think that's really cool. Dandy's calling it hot. He
so
gave it 3 hots.
I didn't pre-order this one. This is the only one I didn't pre-order.
What?
And it's because I had so much trouble with the Tiger Force version. The legs, the shin, the bottom part of the leg, I had to swap them around to make them stand. So, and I think a lot of people, there was QC issues in the UK and in the US as well as here. So, something made me just hold off. So he's the only one I didn't drop a pre-order on.
Okay.
I didn't actually pre-order any figures because I don't have the money, and I didn't pre-order anything. I don't want to be like. I got in so many situations the last few months where it's been like, I didn't have the money in my I have 3 accounts. I have an account for savings, I have an account for paying my bills like condo dues and food, gas, stuff like that, electricity, and then I have an account that I put a percentage of each paycheck in that's just for toys.
Yeah,
and that account is what I give when I pre-order a thing, and so many times before Christmas, so October, November, things like that, it went negative. Like Amazon or Big Bad or someone would charge me and my account would be negative $100 because 5 figures showed up. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Now they're going to charge me an overdraft fee and all these other, you know what I mean? If you don't take care of it by midnight, 48 hours from now, they're going to charge you an overdraft fee and all this. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm done pre-ordering. I can't do it because they don't come out. Number one, they don't come out when they say they're going to come out. They either come out 3 months early or 2 months late. And you can't plan when things are so sporadic. If they give you a date of January 5th, it should be January 5th. The problem is like a lot of figures right now, they're coming out early. Some of them are 2 months early,
I think what they're doing is they're overestimating their distribution because stuff got held up before, and they think like, oh, we're going to give people a win because all their stuff's going to show up before we anticipate it. Yeah. Anyways, but I like the interchangeability of like these smoke things right here. That's why I put this picture up. I thought that was that's a really good touch that you're going to be able to use that stuff.
Yeah, but notice how they have him lean back so far so he doesn't like tip forward.
Yeah, he's gonna fall over.
Yeah. Well, they
Yeah.
did that. They did that live. Yeah, they had to move him back because it was the weight would have just made him fall over. G-Force jumped in.
G-Force.
All right.
Yeah, this
Everybody
right here I
needs
think
a
is
diver.
amazing, man.
So cool.
Is this Torpedo?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks great.
I'd be straight down to the river when I get him for a few shots.
Yeah.
You're gonna get one of those waterproof cases for your camera so you can
Thinking about it, yeah. I was watching a guy drop it into like a plastic poly pocket, and I was like, I'm not risking my phone.
Yeah.
The plastic envelope, but yeah, I'm so excited to get this guy. I think he looks so cool.
That's cool.
Amazing. Yeah, that's
He was
one
very-
I'll probably pre-order after the show.
He
Really?
was very
On
loud
Amazon.
in the cartoon. Hey, you bilge rat! You know.
But that was off the water in his ears, John.
Yeah.
What about
Yeah.
Popeye? I mean, Shipwreck.
So
Yeah.
a lot of people hate Shipwreck or the character. I
like him.
love them.
Yeah.
I love that figure. I can't wait to get this one.
I think he looks cool, and I like the fact that like he comes with his parrot,
Yeah.
right? I think that's a good touch.
Yeah.
I like the hook, and is he gonna come with that chain too, or just the hook?
No, if you
No,
look, that's off a faucet.
Yeah.
That looks like it's off a stopper for a faucet. But
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the vintage one just came with that silver pistol
Oh, it is.
and the hooks
Okay,
and
so
the parrot. So he even has an extra pistol for this one.
Yeah.
see, everybody hates Shipwreck, Connor.
I loved that episode of the cartoon where at the end they're like, "We gotta go saw an arm off of Shipwreck," and they're all like, "Oh my gosh!" And then they run over there and it's the bat. It's when Shipwreck came in contact with one of the bats,
Oh,
and the
parrot has
hand
a
grabbed
leg?
onto the hand of the bat grabbed onto his leg, and they blew up the bat, and it was just like it wouldn't let go. So
Torpedo sold out. Quick.
yeah, probably getting a couple.
You could realistically get a few of these guys and do like head swaps and stuff like that, and then they would be a whole bunch of sailors, right?
yeah.
Swapping
Yeah.
the deck.
plus,
G-Force-
I just have a feeling
One
too
the
that
whole
like
years.
like go to a Target right now and even a Walmart, they've got like 20 of the whole last wave of figures. There's been
Yes,
no
they do.
problem getting the last couple waves. So I really think that they've fixed that problem, and we're going to see these.
And then they're
all
going to
over.
reissue them all on the card.
Yeah, and then they'll reissue them on the cards right afterwards. So yeah.
I agree. I didn't feel like I had to really pre-order anything. I think I ordered the ones that were Pulse exclusives only.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I didn't know any of them were only Pulse exclusive. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Is that
Yeah.
rock and roll?
This
Rock
guy
and
looks
roll.
really cool.
Yes.
It's
So
just
with
the
rock-
bullets, though, that make him look cool, right? From what-
Yeah. But rock and
No.
roll's shirt should be totally green. It's not white.
Yeah. It's that hand. That's what makes him look cool,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
And
The whispering
all
fingers.
the bullets, Vern. All the bullets help as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look cool.
Scrap
It is-
iron sold
it is
out
a-
quick too.
It is a strange color choice, though, for the show. That if that was just green or camo, that just would have been awesome. But
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be green, but I'm okay with it.
Okay, so I had there's a picture. I don't think I put it up here, but there's a picture of this guy on the sniper rifle, and they got the close up of his face. And you guys go take a look at it and tell me if he looks like Harry, Prince Harry. All right.
Scrap iron is cool.
This is going to be pricey, huh?
We never had him without a helmet. That's funny. Is that really
Yeah.
what he looked like without a helmet on in the old days?
I think they imagined that he was all messed up because
I want
standing-
it's cool. It's not two heads, It's
that it's actually a helmet.
yeah,
it's
that's
like he's
cool.
holding the Wii U gamepad.
He's got a Wii.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So how did he get the scarring on his face? Was it like he was standing too close to the rocket when it fired and the
no,
Burn?
his
Like
his
crosshair.
deranged father pushed him into the
Okay.
grill when he was a kid, and
damn, that's dark.
he's got dad issues. Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
they
it's
said
enough for me too,
Exactly.
Dandy. This one.
voice, but
So you guys are
about
no?
one of the previous ones.
Yeah,
I'm all in. I'm in. Yeah.
Now, my dog dies again.
All right, last hour. Tony suggested M240 Bravo again for rock and roll. That's Eric's a Punk with Toys is saying that's a Sega Game Gear. Yeah, there's a lot of storytelling that can go on. I'm hoping that I was kind of hoping they might.
They're actually attempting world building here with this line now. But I know they're more expensive packs. I think this one is. They said they're going to be $48 or $55.
54.
But
No.
everyone always said you couldn't do any world building with 6-inch figures, and the Hasbro team now are really trying to attempt it here, which is great to see. And like, see the way he comes with the drone or the rocket launcher. Like, I've always thought that if we got the Black Series, but you got like a little world piece, like, so say like you got a Tatooine Luke, but you got a moisture evaporator in there as well, and for a few extra bucks, you wouldn't mind that. So where we're getting less with the other lines, at least they're trying to bring a bit of world building to the line.
Yeah, this guy's 45. You're
45.
right. That's the 45 price point with the vehicle. So we can imagine that, like, probably if that Duke with the Ram cycle were to be announced like this week, that would have been at the $45. Right.
Gotcha.
Because it's 40 now, so they just bumped it up a few bucks. And this is the $55. It's the 2 figures with all the accessories.
So I passed on this. Now I'm gonna say hot.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I would pass on this too. I mean, if I saw it on sale, but like, this is a Pulse exclusive, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But that's retailing here at €64. So which is quite considerably more than 2 figures.
I would only get it if it's on sale. I'm not.
Yeah. Now I think they're cool looking. I don't like the color of the one on the left hand side there, where it's got the beige or the camo look. Like, just doesn't fit in with the navy. The one on the right looks cool. And
they should have not did the beige. They should have just stuck with all. But they wanted them to look different. That's their thing, right? Maybe it should have been like a red or something like that.
The color and the price point just put me off. I just didn't think there was enough bang in your book for like I said, €64 over here.
Yeah, I think they try. Yeah, I agree. I think it's a little bit overpriced. Let's see. Brown guns.
Great, Chris.
Yep. I don't like the khaki gear. Yeah, everybody. The khakis. What's throwing people off? The figures and the muzzle effects. The figures are cool. But that these 2 figures or this figure will come out as a single pack figure eventually.
Oh, that's probably true. Yeah, that'll.
This is just like the first way you're going to get them, right? But they've made it. It's definitely coming out. You're getting a red one with your HISS tank, right? So that's why they're cranking these out, because they already made the mold for it.
But I suppose, and that's one of the reasons why I would have liked to have that sort of extra troopers around the HISS tank if I'm displaying it. But so I don't know. I think, honest to God, I think it was the beige that really pushed me over the line to not pre-order this. So this set and Bazooka are the only 2 I didn't pre-order. I pre-ordered the rest.
Well, I think that beige color was from a later in the line, wasn't it? Like,
maybe. It could be.
I feel like there was maybe it was in the 20th anniversary or somewhere. There was a Cobra Trooper with that beige color. So yeah.
But again, if it was a single figure, it might look okay. But the fact that you're getting the one, like, it's so different from the other figure. It's such a
take my money.
Other end of the scale to go from black to that bright beige. It just doesn't really fit for me as a 2-pack.
Gotcha.
And I think it's interesting that they stuck them in the snow. Right? Especially when you got Snow Job here, and in the background you got white bats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if they were going to do snow pictures, I would have expected, like, maybe they transition them and do like Arctic looking Cobra soldiers and maybe put them in white gear so they blend in.
They'll probably get repaints and everything Arctic in the next year or two.
Yeah, this guy's awesome. I'm looking forward to this figure. I really do dig it.
This one I had to actually pre-order this from Pulse in the UK, who don't deliver to Ireland. So if you use I use a post forwarding service, so it's probably going to cost me a few quid more, and I'll get hit with customs. But I was willing to pay the few extra bucks for him because, as you said, Vern, he's just awesome.
I see this guy, and I know I did a picture earlier, but this is the adventure team, and this was like a search for Yeti or whatever. So this pack came with like a furry creature, and I just imagine like being able to pair that guy up with, say, a Wampa or something like that to make them kind of similar to this adventure team. And I just see like, man, I wish that they would do like a adventure team line and sell, put some special packs together. But I don't think that's ever going to happen because I think they have enough property right now to stick with that 3.75 inch series, right?
Yeah.
They didn't have an adventure team in there. Let's see. Classified seem to have bad resale value. I think some of the first ones, John, you might know, right? Like, do you guys know? I think the first Duke.
Oh yeah, the first ones definitely
held their value a little bit.
They don't have a resale value. Is what I'm saying.
The very first ones before they repainted them, I thought those guys were like holding theirs a little bit. Like that.
I mean, they might be like the same price as retail, but I don't think they're like you're not going to spend an absorbent amount getting that first roadblock.
Well, I got mine on eBay for like $2,000. I'm just kidding.
I think outside Beachhead and maybe the Troopers, the Vipers.
Yeah, those were where they started. Yeah,
they definitely have resale value, but everything else, I see everything on the Facebook groups, like the UK GI Joe Facebook group, guys are pretty much selling retail or below retail to get to move on their collection. So,
yeah. Well, that was all the stuff from the GI Joe stream. I think like we all kind of agreed. Some of the chat kind of surprised me where they were like, no, they were not interested. Did not think some of those GI Joe reveals were hot. So that was kind of interesting to me to see because I figured it was going to be across the board that they loved everything. But I have a feeling that the reason why I took it away was because of the guys on the stream just seemed so into what they were selling. And it's night and day when you talk about the teams. And I know that like the Marvel guys and the Star Wars guys have been getting a lot of grief over the last couple of years. And maybe they're walking into the room and they're just not enthusiastic because they just think they're going to get hammered down. But the thing is, when you're, on a brand marketing team and your job is to try to sell something, you can't go in my opinion, you can't go in there without enthusiasm. You know what I mean? Like you got to walk in the door believing that that's the best thing ever. And you got to really sell it. So like those two guys that were on that Marvel's stream, they had a lot of good stuff to show, but they just seemed unenergetic and they did not convince me that they were happy with anything they were showing off.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. That clip you shared then, that's a lot of fun.
That's great. Yeah, that's really fantastic. I mean,
yeah. No, you can so you can tell when the Joe team are doing that live stream that they were passionate about what they're producing, what they're making, and that came across to us collectors. So it gets you to invest more in what they're doing. So
I mean, that's the last Star Wars one wasn't even a live stream. It was a pre-recorded video. Right?
Yeah.
They turned off all the comments. And then was the Marvel one live even? Or was that pre-recorded?
I've a funny feeling they're all pre-recorded now anyway, after saw the negative comments that went on. But
it could be because there's a difference when you're you know what? They could be broadcasting a live recording. Because when I was watching that the G.I. Joe one, it said live. like live. But when you watch the Star Wars one, it was like where it says premiere or something like that. That's what it was.
But there was a glitch at one stage during the Star Wars game, and I was like, it's not live. So,
but they did do. I did say that last Star Wars one. I will tell you that Patrick wasn't there, and I think that they all had a lot more energy than they had previously. So I give them props for that. So maybe, hopefully, that just means Patrick won't come back for any of the streams.
Maybe not. But I don't.
Don't mess with Patrick.
I think they're at a crossroads now. So don't mess with him.
Hey, so I got a question. What do you guys think about this Indiana Jones adventure series, the 6-inch line?
Crap.
Not getting any of them. No, never.
Okay, so I will tell you that my problem with that line, just to say it out loud, is when they're done announcing every single version of Indiana Jones, because that's all they've been doing is like a different look for Indiana Jones, what are they going to announce with all the rest of the characters? Right? It's like,
I'll probably get the Indiana Jones figure.
I'll probably get that one.
Right, but we're getting an action figure from an action series, right? An action TV show or an action movie that doesn't have enough articulation for me to pose to sort of recreate some of those scenes. You've got single knee joints, single elbow joints.
Yeah.
No butterfly joints. So if you want to get him in a dynamic pose with his whip, you're going to be limited to everything we were saying with the Luke Skywalker figure earlier. So to me, that's a serious letdown. So again, the articulation is not there. The other problem I have is if I was to go and get every single Indiana Jones figure that's coming out, and the police were to raid my house, I'd look like a Harrison Ford fanboy or stalker, because it's all just Harrison Ford. There's not much being mixed into it there. They have put in a couple of bad guys or the bosses or whatever else, but I think again it comes down to world building. Or what they're really lacking is we got to get the baddies. You got to have the soldiers and the guys that Indy fought, and I don't think they're going to bring that to the line.
I don't think so either. Neither does Jonathan.
No, okay, reasons, but and again, I'm going to bring it back to the very start of the stream. I lay on my floor with plastic molded 2-inch figures from both the Axis of Evil and the Allies, right? And I played, and I'm still in the hobby today, developed from that goodies versus baddies. But now they think that if they bring out these soldiers, I'm somehow going to become a different person. So it's madness. And for me, I can't invest in the line, and I won't.
It's almost like you can't come out with like a soldier who's an enemy and say where they're from, because you don't want to tie a country to being like villains, right? Like they did in that last Top Gun movie where the bad guys remained completely unnamed.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like a tough one for them to build that. They could do it in a movie apparently, but they can't do it for the toy line. So the only option they have is just to crank out new versions of Indiana Jones.
And again, that stops any sort of world building or development or photographic possibilities with the line. So to me, it's a non-runner. I'll probably get the indie one, but I can't see me forking out all that money for a
whole line of figures that go nowhere. Yeah. I think Indiana Jones the figure can fit into other stuff. Like if you're doing stuff, like I think he'll work well with like say even the Valaverse or the GI Joes, especially like the Tiger Force guys and stuff like that, because if you picture them together, they look like they could just be running into each other in the jungle or something like that. I don't know.
Or you could do a scene with Indiana Jones and Han Solo, like that Hot Shots.
Right.
I love Wall Street.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So I think we got on a little over 2 hours. We usually try to stick to about 2 hours. I think it was really good. I want to thank you guys for both coming on and talking about GI Joes and Action Force. with us. Maybe Sean will show up when we're all done. They won't even know.
Leave it on, and let everybody go.
But I do want to thank everybody in the chat for coming in and hanging out and talking about it, and hope we'll see all of you guys next time when we come back on the Toy Duo for more. We're here every Saturday at noon Pacific Standard Time. It'll be Pacific Daylight Time next week because we go into daylight time starting tomorrow. So don't forget to move your clocks if you live in an area where you move your clocks.
Sorry, Vern, I was laughing at Punk's comment. I have to say, Conor, you are awesome. Nothing behind you other than a poster of yourself.
What can I say?
That's all that's needed.
That's Soy Manga Fandango.
Yeah.
His artwork, he sent it to me, so that sits proudly. That's actually, I sit facing that when I'm working during the day. So
he stares at himself while he works.
No, I'm surprised it's not in a frame. Is it getting a frame one day?
It's in a frame. It came framed and all.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
It's a small frame.
See,
you know, he's had the artwork he did for me for probably like 4 years. He's never sent it.
No. You know what, John? I am also in the club of not receiving like something that somebody said they were going to send me 3 years ago.
I've seen it 100 times. I've seen it. You know, he's held it up. I've seen pictures of it. You know, like I don't know why it's just never made it over. And I see other people getting stuff all the time. I'm like, what the hell? He got his right away.
Right.
I wish you didn't bring that up, Ben, because that's who's going to have my hit tank.
Yeah. Anyways, what I want to say before we go is that I do have memberships on my channel, and I haven't done like a member giveaway in a while. Next week on the Toy Duo, it'll be our 10th episode. So I am going to do a giveaway. It's going to be for members, are going to have an opportunity to get this custom Carson Teva that I did. And that's going to be next week on the Toy Duo.
Nice.
All right.
One of a kind.
Yeah. Well, one of two, because I got another one.
This is the one I screwed up on. So you guys get to have that one.
Actually, I got another one because I knew he was coming back in season 2. So I ended up getting another head. I painted it and I put them together just so I could get another one out there so I don't have the only one sitting on a shelf.
Gotcha.
But,
yeah.
All right. But anyways, thanks for coming by and hanging out with us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us, Vern. It was fun.
Great fun.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Vern and Sean, when you come back. And it was great to sit down with you too, John. Thanks for
and here's Ripcord on a card back from
John never showed off his vintage stuff.
From Commandos. He's from Brazil, I think. This is from Brazil. So they were
that's really
international heroes.
Oh, so that's Airborne, but they called him Ripcord in America, was it?
No, it's probably Airborne. I just said the wrong name. Did I say Ripcord? No, it's Airborne, but I might have said Ripcord on accident. But yeah, but
that was my favorite.
In Brazil, he had a Brazilian what do you call it? Like color tone.
Yes. He was. So
because he was more of a white guy in the United States. So
he was called Condor in one of the South American.
Yes, because on here he is called Condor.
And that's where they got the name for this guy. That's where they plucked that from.
Right there. Yep, Condor.
Yeah. Condor. Yeah. Wow, look at that.
And then we have the Pogo Battle Ball. We have some Bosch G.I. Joe stuff.
It's still live.
With your offer for the fridge.
I know, right?
Oh, check that out.
And then we had I had one of my G.I. Joe cases sitting around too. So.
Oh, that's super
cool. Oh, that's cool.
Awesome.
I love collecting storage cases for figures. There, okay. End of the stream.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week on the Toy Duo.
Thanks for
see you guys later.
Right.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
He's an action figure poser, which means posing action figures is his specialty. SeanSolo8 and it's Vern from OakhurstStudios, who is a master at complaining about pretty much everything. And together, they